All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My brothers and sisters over YouTube, pastored out here. Listen, it's a little early in the morning, about 5 something o'clock in the morning. Heat wave gone, it's cool out here. But that's not what I'm making this video about right now. As a matter of fact, I thought on this, and I've been thinking on this, so let me put this down real quick and talk to us here for a second. All right. There's a few things that we all need to comprehend and understand, given the high inflation. I think when Donald Trump was in office, inflation was at like 1.9 or 2.9. Now we're sitting here under the Biden administration, I think is at 8.7. And we already see the stress that is putting not only on society, but we're watching and seeing exactly the stress that is putting on families, homes. You're making decisions as far as to go out and actually spend more money in the economy. You can't do it when you're putting it all in the gas tank. I know diesel here in the South is like $5.90 a gallon. In other places, it's considerably more. And when you look at these fossil fuels and how fast that they dissipate, especially given big cars and big trucks that we have today, you would think that this Democratic administration and stuff would do something. And you know, when Biden says he's going over to Saudi Arabia, he already called it a pariah state, and he said he wasn't thinking about them. And now all of a sudden, we're in this so-called energy crisis, which under Donald Trump, we didn't have this energy crisis. But that, you know, it's amazing how that they pivot and they never take responsibility for anything. But so let me remind us the reason why we're in this crisis. First of all, the reason why we're in this crisis is because he shut down the Keystone Pipeline, took away thousands of jobs from Americans. Then he turns around and he shuts down oil production from a couple of plants. And of course, he turns around and then he gets in there and first thing he does is, that's what all of them do, spend money into oblivion. Now we got all these dollars out here, inflation, chasing each other. Not only do we have a supply chain shortage, but we got supplies from other countries. Y'all need to go ahead and mix that mud, right? Y'all can turn that on. All right, let me go ahead. Let me move over here and continue this video, okay? I got the young guns up here with Pastor Dow this morning. We're up here laying blocks this morning. But anyway, we got all this goods and services. We have all these shipping containers sitting out at damn sea. A lot of stuff, perishable items are rotting. And then I could go on. I think what's really near and dear to my heart more than anything is the Americans being abandoned in Afghanistan. And a lot of Americans have short-term memory. I don't. I have a long-term memory. And it's just sad. It's sad the way they have plunged this country into. And then they want to try to blame the high gas and high fuel costs on Russia when prices was already going skyrocket high and sky through the roof. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you the way we are as a society and what's getting ready to take place. If you heard me say this once, put this down here. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. It's a little dark because it's kind of light outside right now. I guess it depends on where you're at. See what I mean? But it's just early. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:05, something like that. But anyway, you've often heard me say that when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. Is that right? Well, we live in a world now where a lot of people are losing it, especially with the mass shootings that's going on, and people literally just are checking out. They're sick and tired of government. They're sick and tired of society. They're sick and tired of life. And when they get sick and tired of life, government, society, I don't know why people do it, but they turn on themselves and they just want to just kill themselves and kill others and take them with them. But let me tell you what society is going to look like here if inflation continues to keep on hitting all of us like this. We're going to sit and watch people come after your hard-earned goods and services. In other words, people are not going to go out and continue to keep paying these exorbitant prices for stuff that they want. The human nature is is survival. And what they'll do is they'll come and take it from you. If you are a neighbor or someone, uh, them neighbors going to look and see what you got. Sometimes they may even at night go on a recon of your property and see what you got going on and stuff, and watch your behavior patterns, and then they'll use as an opportunity to go and take what you have. So security of your family is going to be paramount. We're watching carjackings in America going up left and right. And that's because things are just costing too much. People literally can't afford it. And when they can't afford it, and when society is not running under a good administration, running right, they revert to the lowest form of nature, stealing, killing, destroying. And that's what's happening. And if you think that this world has done gone from bad to worse right now at 8% inflation, going on 9% inflation, wait till it gets up to 15 and 20%. I mean, even out here, way out here in the country where we're going to have to actually pull guard. We're going to have actually have a roving guard at night, because out here, in the country, people think a little bit different than the city. In the city, they just walk right up to you and just take it. Out here, man, it's just crazy to actually think that you may have to defend your life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. That's where it's usually read. That's where it's supposed to be read. I know it says life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, but Americans have this uncanny ability to be able to change definitions about everything. They do it in the Bible. They change words in the Bible. They change it, and they use a bunch of wordsmith to try to deceive the people from what the real true intent is. But I can tell you right now, it's just a sad situation. And so it's crazy to think that the way society is going today, because of government policies, and because these people who are supposed to be in the elected office, they don't know how to balance the budget. They don't know how to do any damn thing right. This has got to be, again, the most lunatic. It's got to be the most lunatic administration I've ever seen in my life. It's literally a laughing stock and a joke. I can't even believe that these people think that they're supposed to be in office, but I understand what's going on. But I can tell you right now, government or the United States of America don't care about you. Let me finish this story like this, but I'm going to say this, though. You're probably going to have to start getting ready to defend your property and defend your homestead and your life. There's a WNBA basketball player, a black woman over there in Russia that's been incarcerated since February. And I think she had something like some CBD oil or something on her, and Russia says she had drugs on her, and they're holding her. Now, you think about this. And you call it what you want. I'm going to tell it just like I see it. If there was a white woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, you better believe the State Department would have combed heaven and earth. We probably would even went to war with Russia to go get her back. We probably would have sent in SEAL Team 6 to go get her. Who knows? We'd have done some shit. We'd have done something. But because it's a black woman, now you sit over and take your time. We're going to try to be diplomatic and all this other stuff. And I know that a lot of Americans are tired of hearing this, but the problem is this. Is that, there was this white woman, an older white woman, and I seen her on Facebook the other day, and she was sitting in a room to where there was nothing but just white people, and she asked all the white people, would you like to be treated the way that the blacks are in America? If you do, stand up. Nobody stood up. Nobody stood up. And she says, well, maybe I need to rephrase this. How would you like to receive the treatment the way that the Negroes or the blacks have been treated in America? How would you like to reverse, how would you like to reverse sides and then you take on what they have and they take on what you have? Nobody stood up. She says, and this speaks to a systemic problem in our society when people are literally blind to themselves. And I said, well, I be damn, look at this right here. Look at this. So in other words, people really truly know that there's something wrong, but unless they're being mistreated and done wrong, it doesn't affect them. It don't bother them as long as the treatment don't come to them like that. I'm like, wow. So everybody's reality is a little bit different. And this council culture thing that they're talking about is what they really truly don't want Americans to know is the real true history of this country. Because the history, while most people want you to forget it because it's in the past, if you forget about your history, then you're never going to know what type of people who you're dealing with and the type of people that you have to wrestle and fight against, and you're never going to know the intent because It's our past that defines us here in this future. And it actually charts the way that we're going. It really truly does. And so some people choose to ignore, some people don't. I choose not to ignore history. I choose to actually tell it like it is. Black, white, red, yellow, blue, purple, green, and brown. I was having a discussion the other day with a melanated brother. And I said, and he was telling me about how the cops choked out this woman and the cops shot another black person. And I said, yeah, believe me, I get it. I understand. I also understand the mental gymnastics going on too. I said, you know, it's kind of hard to convince me that black people really truly care about each other, and they really care about police killing them and everybody else killing them, which we know is a problem in America, no doubt about it. When you go to places like New York, Oakland, California, the Bay Area out there, Chicago, especially this Dodge City, Chicago, and all you see is black on black crime. You see people now, you got videos out where people are just jumping out of vehicles, seeing somebody stand on the side of the street and opening up like they did in New York, just opening up with submachine guns and just killing people in cold blood, broad daylight. Carjackings going on. This is what's going on in the world. And what you need to do is start preparing yourself. But I don't ignore one side of the story in order to appease the other side. The reality is we got some serious issues in America. And I'm telling you right now, things are going from bad to worse. It would behoove you to change your mindset and the way that you perceive and do things. It probably would behoove you to do that as we go forward here, because every single month it's getting worse and crime is getting worse. You can pass all the bills you want. Did you ever notice that the criminals, they got out there and shot people, and people who are going in these soft targets like schools and parks and everything to shoot people? Have you ever realized that they don't give a damn about what these lawmakers make, whatever laws they pass? Laws on pens and paper does nothing to actually quell or change the nature of man. It doesn't. Criminals don't give a damn about what laws says. Laws are against law-abiding citizens. That's it. Period, point blank. Anyway, I hope I said something to stimulate thought, but you better start preparing yourself and protecting yourself. All right, gotta go to work. King coming.